Welcome back, everyone, to the Popcorn Podcast. I'm Tommy Cresta. Not alongside me for this episode, my co-host Ryan Fran. We're doing this one virtually, and that's because I'm healing from my surgery currently, and I'm still a little loopy off my pain medicine. I really can't walk yet, so I'm still on crutches. So it's just a little bit of a pain to get up and down the steps. So that's why we're virtual for today's episode. But we're here to talk about episodes 5 and 6 of The Last of Us. I think that's it. That's all I have.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't watched anything else, right?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I forgot we didn't do five yet. I kind of
yeah.
forgot about it. I didn't plan on that.
So, well, before we get into that, Ryan, how you doing?
Not bad. Not bad. I got back from my big long adventure.
Oh, I forgot about that. How'd it
My
go?
my adventure. It went fine. Just a lot of driving.
I feel
Driving
like I'd be so tired after.
from Naples to Philly. It was kind of it was fun. Car was great though. It was a nice Acura MDX.
Oh, it was an
Fantastic car.
Acura?
Yeah, it was very nice.
Where'd you
Yeah,
go?
but how's your week been?
Just been trying to hang in there while this pain medicine does its job.
Yeah, fair enough.
Shit. I'm trying to
What?
fix my desktop that I can read my notes and still look at the camera.
Oh, okay.
No, don't want to close out. Okay, there we go. I don't need to see myself.
Perfect.
Move that over. Right, okay. So, episode 5 of The Last of Us was titled Feel Her Love. It was directed by Stephen Williams, written by Craig Mazin. It was only 45 minutes. It did feature a Pearl Jam song.
Did it?
And
All right.
present tense. And so I wanted to see the viewer numbers because I wanted to see if it's dropped off without Pedro Pascal in there. And this episode only put in 652,000, which I know is a lot of people, but that's a huge drop off to the numbers that the other episodes got.
Yeah, for a 9 o'clock HBO, like that's the primetime show right now. That is not good at all. That is horrible.
No, it is not. A quick plot summary. Ellie and Dina embark on their second day in Seattle, navigating through a hospital filled with infected to confront Nora, a member of the Washington Liberation Front. This episode delves into Ellie's transformation, showcasing her going more into the side of possibly being the villain of the series. It depends on which side you guys view. We're trying to find out more about Abby's whereabouts, and yeah, get to learn more
Yeah,
about the scars, a couple of stuff in between. And then nice little surprise ending, which I was not expecting, which I completely forgot was going to happen.
yeah. I dude, that happened, and I watched it with my dad, and he was like, "Wait, what the fuck?" He was like, "Oh, "What happened?" I'm like, "Don't worry, this is flashbacks. It's okay."
Um, but yeah, before I give my points, it seemed like you have a more. Oh, you were more talking about episode 6.
Yeah, I thought episode 5 was fine. I thought it was okay, it was decent. I think again, I was kind of saying it the last time we talked. Was like, I'm just not enjoying this season as much as I did the first one. I don't know. Like it, I like the second game. Funny enough, I literally, as you texted me, like, all right, we just do it virtually. I literally finished the second game again 5 minutes ago, so it's pretty fresh. Um, but I don't know. I thought this episode was pretty good. 5 was pretty good. I kind of wish. I don't know, the way they brought Jesse back was kind of, it wasn't bad, but again, just how the game does it, where you know, they were looking for Tommy in the first place, and then Jesse shows up and he's like, "Oh yeah, I came with Tommy, but we got split up somehow." It's like, all right, how? Like, what
Yeah.
happened? What happened there? Because in the game, Jesse comes after Ellie and Dina, who were already after Tommy. So, you know,
Yeah, but
it's
Jesse
kind
was
of
just there already. Yeah.
yeah. Jesse came after them, but then now it's like Jesse and Tommy came at the same time, but then somehow got split up.
Well,
Somehow
they
the Emperor
chose
had
to
to
split
turn.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He did say that, but it's still funny how like, oh, he just found him. you know?
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that. Like, I thought that they were gonna find them at in the building because I thought maybe he would think oh, they're gonna try and get to the.
Yeah, or like he's trying to get to them
But
already.
just that the way that he found them was just so out in the middle of nowhere. I was like,
Yeah,
damn, that is some crazy luck,
yeah, yeah. It's super lucky as they're getting attacked by the stalkers, which were great, by the way.
dude.
I do like the
That
stalkers.
shot of the two of them,
Yeah,
it's creepy as fuck.
it was really cool.
I love
Yeah,
the stalkers.
stalkers. I wonder if we're gonna get any of the shamblers ever,
I think
because
we'll
we
get in
do.
the next season.
I think we will too, because we do get a couple of them in Ellie's story in the game, but they're more prevalent, a little bit more prevalent in Abby's side of the game.
Yeah.
But
Um. No, I agree. I think the biggest issue right now is time and how much time we have left.
yeah,
But I guess when you know it's another season, maybe there's 2 seasons. I agree. Season 1 definitely for me is just a better series. It just
yeah,
because I think their chemistry is what makes it so good the first season.
hmm
And not that I don't think Bella Ramsey can't lead the show. I'm not taking. I really liked her performances in these 2 episodes specifically. It's just I feel like their dynamic is what makes the first season so great.
yeah.
So losing
Bella
that and you're
Ramsey
trying
and
to
Pedro Pascal. Yeah,
yeah
and I think a lot of people have had praise for Isabella Merced, and Bella Ramsey's um, what's the word you just said? Fucking
performance
performance, but they're together. You just said it, and it just
chemistry
slipped my mind. Chemistry. Thank you. They people are saying theirs is really good, and I think it's good, but I don't. I haven't seen it as good as people have been saying it's been, and it's certainly not as good as Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal's. So I think having the show kind of be carried by that these past couple episodes just isn't working as well for me. Again, I don't think they have bad chemistry at all, but I just don't. It's not as strong as it was in the first season. Um, yeah, but this episode just kind of like it was pretty cookie cutter. I think all these episodes have kind of felt the same, where it's a lot of downtime and then a little bit of action, and the action hasn't been super exciting yet. I thought this was kind of fun when they were fighting the stalkers. It was good, and then that little scene towards the end when they're running away, it's pretty good. But
yeah I said in my note I said that this is 5 for me was more of a return to form for the show compared to the last 2 episodes before this.
yeah,
'Cause I think 3 and 4 are my least favorite of the entire series so far.
okay,
And I'll explain why. I really like 6, but I'll explain my biggest issue with 6 when we get there. It kind of falls
yeah,
in the same thing as the second to last episode last season.
it just kills the pacing.
Yeah, because like I think that would have been a really cool way to start the season and show all
That's
that.
exactly what I thought. Yeah,
Yeah, and
if
I
you're
thought
gonna
it was a
do it
great
as one,
episode. It just
yeah, so did I.
throws off the whole pacing
Yeah,
of
I
where we
thought the
want to go.
same thing last night when I watched it. Is like if you're gonna make all of either do the flashbacks like they are in the game, just like intercut throughout Ellie's story, or if you're going to do them all in one episode, put it at the beginning. Put it like the first or second episode, so that we feel like we have more time with Joel. I think doing it like this and just dropping it right at the end of the season, it just like you said, it was the same as last season when they did the Left Behind DLC in one episode. It's a good episode, but it kind of just killed the pacing. Like we finished that episode on a high note on an action scene, and then we're ready. Like, oh, next episode we're gonna get some more action. We're gonna see what happens, and then it's just like, no, nope, you're gonna
Yeah,
wait another week. Like, all right,
that's
well,
what
fuck.
because I really do think that if you did that this episode first, well, episode 6 first, and then followed the rest of the story, it gives
Mhm.
you more time to follow everything. You don't, and everyone gets to feel the Joel death more. Like people who
Yeah.
didn't play the games, they get more about what happened and why. Because I feel like for people who didn't really play the games, it's I mean you know that Joel did something bad, but
Yeah.
this let you see what else was wrong. Like the Eugene part, I feel like was a huge thing to not
hmm
put into the end of the season.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
First off, a
And
really
I
good
think
scene too.
the difference between like people can say like, "Oh yeah, but you feel so connected to Joel throughout the show," and like I agree, you do connect to Joel, but it's very different between watching a show and playing a game. Where the show we get 8 hours with Pedro Pascal in the first season. That's our connection. You play the game, you get 15 hours being Joel. It's very different how you connect to these characters. So I think if you had put episode 6 towards the beginning, given people who, like you said, didn't play the game, just watched the show, that little bit of extra time to connect with that character again, I think it would have helped for sure.
Yeah, and I will say I thought the whole sequence with Nora was a really good scene because for a second I was like,
Mhm.
oh wow, Nora's really nice talking about Joel, and she's like that son of a bitch got what he deserved. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, I forgot,
yeah.
forgot
Which
this
I mean,
scene.
that whole scene was just taken exactly from the
Yeah,
games.
from the
Yeah,
game.
like shot for shot almost.
And it was cool seeing it being airborne now, the spores.
Yeah.
And it was so cool hearing everyone like when she's running away from the gunfire, they're like, "Oh, we need to clear like this hallway now. Like we got to close everything off because they know
Mhm.
that the spores are down there and everything."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then just watching, I thought that was one of the strongest scenes for Bella Ramsey. Was that
Hmm.
whole sequence with Nora?
Yeah.
Felt like because like I never, as much as I love her performance, I never really feel like the Ellie from the game where it's like true anger's coming out.
Hmm.
But it felt I could see it more in her in this one, so it makes me more excited to see some more of the stuff with her, and it gave me more confidence in Bella Ramsey. And I did listen to the Last of Us version of Take on Me for like 20 minutes today, and I was very sad.
Yeah. Yeah, but like you were saying, in the game too, that is the moment where you're playing as Ellie, and you're kind of going through the game like, oh, she's kind of grown up, she's doing worse shit, she's fucking up more people, she's a little more ruthless. But then that point in the game is like, oh no, she's just mean now. Like she's not. It's not like there's no mercy anymore. She's just gonna kill everybody she has to. And I think Bella Ramsey did a pretty decent job of that in that scene.
Yeah, and I thought I really loved the red light with it, which I mean, it was straight from the shot of the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, exactly.
And what else I want to talk? There was something else I had in my notes. Um,
I do kind of wish we got that scene. I always love that scene after that when Ellie in the game when Ellie gets back to the theater and Dina's like cleaning her up after
well, I
all
have a
that.
feeling that might open. It might open with that.
What was that? I can't remember. I just said I just played the game. I played that part of the game like a week ago. I kind of forget already. But was that after the Nora stuff or was that after the first time she sees the scars, which we just saw at the end of episode 5? Because I don't remember.
No, this is. I think that's after she kills Nora,
Okay, I thought so, but
because the
I
end of
couldn't remember
6 is
exactly.
her coming back from killing Nora.
Yeah.
So I feel like that might be the opening.
All right. Yeah, I guess you're
Where
right.
does
So
that
we
put
might
you
still
at,
get that
though?
scene.
I'm trying to think of where
It
that
puts
puts you
you
after the finale.
into day 3. So I mean, they would be going into day 3.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know.
excited to see stuff about Tommy that goes to Seattle. I have a feeling that's gonna be really fun in season 3.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I really am excited to see more Caitlin Dever, and I think they've done a good job. Caitlin, right? Caitlin Dever.
Yeah, I think some people say Deaver. I think it's Dever. I don't know.
I'm excited to see. Like that they haven't really shown her again since the end of episode 2, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's nice that we don't get to see her, and then it. I do think it's gonna be a little jarring for people when the next season. I have a feeling is really gonna be Abby.
Hmm.
Little bit
For
of
sure.
Ellie, lots of Abby.
Yeah. I mean, the end is going to have to be Ellie again.
Yeah,
But
I think they'll go back to that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But they also said this could outgo the show, the game. If they
It
want to.
could, but I don't. When they say that, I don't think they mean this story. I think they mean extending the story past
Yeah,
the
I
second
think
game.
I think it's Tommy's story more of anything.
Yeah, I think that could be right. We'll see how much they fuck him up in the show versus the game, though.
Yeah, no,
Because
he's
the end of the
definitely
game.
gonna get some. He's gonna do some damage.
Yeah, we'll see next episode, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Um, I think the Scar people are so creepy.
yeah.
And I love how they kill people with they cut them open and everything just falls out.
Uh, yeah,
Was that
that's what
CGI
I'm.
blood in this?
What part?
When he first cuts her, oh, is that yeah, it's 5. He cuts the dude open, and it just looked weird when he like opens up.
I mean, it could have been. I'm not
I don't
sure.
know. Could just been the way that the lights were.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I liked the episode, and was really excited to because I completely forgot where we were, and because I mean I haven't played the game in 2 years now,
yeah,
and so when I saw Joel and I was like, oh, we're gonna get this is where the dinosaur stuff is, and I thought episode 6 was great, and I loved it. It's just when I got to the end, I was like, okay, amazing episode by itself. Where is that taking us for the rest of this? We only have an episode now to wrap
yeah.
up part 1 of the 2 seasons now.
Hmm.
And I really just wish, like I think we talked about that with the last season when they did the flashback episode.
Yeah,
It just totally killed the pacing.
yeah. That one, I feel like that one might be a little worse than this one is going to be. I guess we'll find out next Sunday. But I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's tough to say because we also keep praising episode 3 of the first season, which is the best episode of the show so far. The Bill and which one? Actually, yeah, never mind. I forgot episode 2 of this season. Pretty
Episode
fucking
2
good.
this season was
Yeah,
amazing.
no, it was pretty great. I misspoke. But But I think like maybe if I rewatch that season, you could say, okay, that episode also killed a little bit of pacing.
Yeah, but I feel
But
like that one, it was so early on.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like it doesn't. It's early enough where the story's still kind of getting moving, so you have the time to kind of expand this world and show a different perspective. Versus this episode 6 and last season's episode 7, I think it was,
Yeah, it
were
was 7.
just smack dab in the middle of, we're getting ready for the finale, and then there's just the fucking halts. So yeah, I don't know. It's just such a weird placement to do, especially 2 seasons in a row. And
Yeah,
that
which
was, I
I
feel,
think it's
a
weird that
pretty
they've done
big.
that.
Yeah, it was a pretty, like, people complained about it last season, and they were like, "All right, we're gonna do it again."
We're gonna
Like,
do it again.
yeah, I don't, it was kind of weird.
Yeah, because I genuinely think 6 is one of my, like, if I'm just looking at, like, quality of episode, it's one of my favorite episodes because I just
Yeah,
loved seeing their relationship fall apart.
yeah,
And I loved Pedro. I think Pedro Pascal in that when he has to finally tell the truth, that was truly heartbreaking to me. Like when he
yeah,
finally figures out, like when she's like, "This is it," and when she says, "She's like, I don't know if I can forgive you for this," and you just see it on his face. I was like, "God damn it!"
yeah.
And
I
then
mean,
she's like,
both
"But
of
I
them.
want to try." I was like, "Yes."
Yeah, both of
But,
them were incredible in that scene. And
yeah.
I also love the opening scene that they added with Joel's
Oh, with
dad.
his dad, I wrote about.
Yeah,
I wrote,
and then
what?
he says the same line in the very end. It's like,
Yeah,
"I hope you
Tony
do better."
Dalton as Joel's dad was a very
That
good
was great.
decision.
Yeah, that guy just keeps showing up and shit.
Yeah,
He got Better Call
MCU, The
Saul, and
Last of Us,
everybody loved him, and he got Hawkeye, Last of It. Like he's
Daredevil.
yeah, Daredevil. He's just doing shit. Well, same character from Hawkeye, but
Yeah, but he's just
just
showing
saved
up
him.
in TV series.
Yeah, I would love if he keeps showing up in those MCU shows.
It's just like little thing. Well, now he's
Yeah,
captured.
yeah, he is. Maybe he'll
Yeah.
be in the Punisher thing.
Oh my god, him and just Punisher just murdering people.
Pretty good.
Do you have anything you want to add to episode 5?
Um, I mean, again, I kind of thought it was pretty cookie cutter. Like, I don't want to say like cookie cutter that much because, but it just kind of felt samey as all the other episodes so far, which haven't been great in general. I feel like it's a lot of downtime and then a flash of action, and the action hasn't been as exciting as it probably should be yet.
Yeah.
And I still think that's like I love Bella Ramsey as Ellie, but she just doesn't carry that same like she doesn't have that presence of an action star. She's just not. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
she's just that's why I hope
She's
they
just
give us
not.
like a scene where we get to see her do that. It's like
Yeah,
she might
yeah,
have not have the look of it, but if she can do it, then I
yeah.
can let it go.
Like she did fight that one guy in what was it, episode
Oh
3
yeah,
or
when she tagged,
4?
yeah, I wanted more of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Like that was fine. That she made that work. But then even with Nora, like yeah, she killed Nora, but Nora could not defend herself whatsoever. Like she
Yeah,
didn't. She hasn't done anything yet where she's like taking somebody down or showing her strength at all. But
we might be getting that.
I mean, we should be soon.
Yeah, hopefully they show something in this episode coming
Hmm.
up. Um, Going on from that, we go into episode 6, which is called "The Price," directed by Neil Druckmann, also written by Neil Druckmann, Craig Mazin, Haley Gross. This one was an hour long, especially going off of an episode that was 45 minutes long right before that.
Yeah.
We got "Future Days" by Pedro Pascal, which people really like in the game. Troy Baker. And the view count jumped up to 775,000.
Yeah.
So
Which
people
still
knew
isn't
Pedro
great,
Pascal was
but
coming back.
yeah. But I will say, like, because I watched the trailer for this at the end of
Mhm.
the last episode. Obviously, the end of the last episode leaned into what this episode was going to be. This is the least I look forward to an episode the whole
Really?
season
I,
so
I
far.
don't even think I thought about when turned it on today.
Yeah, because once I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, it's another flashback episode. Last night I was just like, I don't even remember what I was doing, but I was like, oh yeah, it's Sunday. I guess Last of Us is coming out. I'll watch that. Whereas like the last couple weeks, I've been like, oh, it's Sunday. I'll watch Last of Us tonight. It's gonna be fun. I
Yeah.
just kind of remembered last minute, and I was like, yeah, I guess I can watch that. And
I
that
did it
was,
the last 2 weeks. I didn't watch 5 or 6, and I think it was because I'm overall just a little disappointed with the season.
hmm
But I feel like maybe subconscious, like I was excited to see Joel again because I love Pedro Pascal as Joel,
yeah,
and I love their dynamic. But I feel like there was just a part of me that was like, oh, it felt like a chore turning it on because I was going to do it the last 3 days, watch
yeah,
episode 5, and I just never turned it on.
yeah,
But I'm happy I did because I really did enjoy this episode. my biggest gripe is that it was at the end of a season where it feels like the season hasn't moved.
Mhm.
Sorry, that sounded weird. Moved. It didn't move far enough along to where. Well, it's getting to the point, but I feel like what you're saying. It feels like the game too much. Where it's the game's long, so there's gonna be like riding the horse around. There's gonna be downtime. But that's the point of the games.
Yeah.
In the show, I feel like you need to cut some of that and get to some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's
Yeah.
what is it? It's 36 hours to 100% The Last of Us 2.
I don't even know. I remember I looked when I started playing it again. I looked at my hours played on PlayStation. I think it was like 21 hours I took to beat the game
Holy
the
sh!
first time, and that was just going through it. Like I didn't. I missed a lot of shit. But Fred Warner staying with the Niners 3 years. Um,
I hate him.
he's so good though. um, but I think like
43 hours.
43 hours. Yeah, wild.
So I just so let's just say do 2 7 minutes, 2 7 episode seasons. That only gives you 14 hours. And you're trying to close all this down. There's a lot you have to cut, and it felt like they didn't do enough. Like I was excited when they added the whole battle for Jackson because I was like, oh, they're changing it up enough to
Yeah,
give.
and they're adding action,
Yeah,
which is good
I was kind of
because and
hoping they were going to do
also
more of that.
yeah, for sure. Also, you say 7 episode season, 2 7 episode seasons. That's 14 hours. It's really not because
Yeah, because they
episode
don't do
five
all
was
hour episodes.
45 minutes. This one had the least action and it was an hour long. And listen, I understand the main thing of this show is Ellie and Joel's relationship, and then Ellie and Dina's relationship. Whatever. It's a very character driven show, but at the same time, it's still an action show to an extent. And I think you need to add more action to it. It doesn't need to be just balls to the walls, constant the whole time. I'm not saying that at all. That's not how the games are. But even like, I look back to what Neil Druckmann said in one of the like the after the show, the behind the scenes
The
thing.
behind the scenes clips.
He was talking about episode 3, where the whole episode is kind of just mourning Joel, right, and getting ready to go to Seattle. And he was saying like, because of the show, we have a lot more time to mourn Joel, and because the game is so action oriented, you kind of have to like quickly get through that to get to some action, to get to some gameplay. But I think he probably said like, all right, with the show, we have these great actors who are going to play these characters. Maybe we can slow it down a little bit and show more of the characterization because we don't have, antsy video game players who just want to get to the action and do
Yeah,
something, themselves, which makes sense. But I feel like they've taken that a little bit too far where they've gone fully, or maybe a little, not fully, but too far in the sense of let's just do character stuff and leave out the action. I think they've left out too much action from the games into the show where
yeah,
you have moments where like I'll be watching something and being like, okay, they just skipped that whole scene or they just cut it and wrote around it. But so much of these episodes have been so character driven that you kind of forget that you're watching a fucking post-apocalyptic
yeah. It's action adventure.
zombie show. Like you know what I mean? It just and I like the characters still. I still both of us will always defend Bella Ramsey. I still think she's good. Like I said, I don't think she brings the physicality as Ellie yet. At least I think the 1 or 2 fight scenes she's had, which she was okay and she was pretty believable, but she hasn't shown it enough yet. But I like Dina's actress. I like Tommy's act. Like I like them all, but I just think we need a little bit more action, and I'm hoping we get that in this finale. But
Yeah,
it's
I
it's just
feel
not looking
maybe
great.
that's what they're trying to do is like they do the character study stuff and then
Yeah.
get into season 3 and just go for the action.
Yeah,
And I
and
don't
I
know.
hope so, because Abby's part of the game is much more action based. Like it
Oh,
really
it
is.
is violent.
Yeah, especially because I mean, immediately when you switch to Abby and you start off with like 4 different guns, like a fucking semi-auto rifle. You're like, what am I in for? And
You're
then
like, oh, this is a
it
lot
just
more.
goes immediately. But yeah, I don't know. There just hasn't been enough action for me yet. And
Yeah,
I'm not saying I need this to be a flat out action show. That's not what I'm saying. I like the character stuff. I just feel like there's not enough balance to character versus action.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, as we were talking about this episode, uh, pretty much focuses and centers on Joel and Ellie's relationship after we left off with them after season 1, and follows them through Ellie's birthday for 4 birthdays: 16,
Uh
17, 18, 19.
yeah, I think it was 3 or 4.
No, it was 15, 16, 17, 19.
I thought there were
Because
only three of them. Because it's
was
the
it?
one.
17 is when she's hooking up with the girl.
No, so he got the one cake that he misspelled and said Eli, and then he
Oh,
came
that's the
back with
same
the
one when they go see the dinosaur, isn't it?
yeah, and then the chocolate cake that said Ellie, and that's when she was hooking up with what's her name,
Oh, and then the
and
one after
then
that. Yeah,
then one after. Yeah, so there was three. Because
I
the
thought
one
the
skip is
birthday
2 years,
one.
not one.
Yeah, forgot that the guitar one and the dinosaur one was the same birthday.
Yeah, yeah,
That whole I really loved that scene with them at the museum,
yeah.
and
It
you can
was
see
nice.
like Joel just loves Ellie. Like it's so undeniable how much he cares for this person, especially when after losing his own daughter. It's so hard for a parent to continue on, and that he
Hmm.
was pretty much to him this is his second chance,
Yeah.
and it was just such a nice scene. The fact, first off, love the whole astronaut scene. Where did this man find that tape?
Oh yeah, no. Where did he find that? And then he happened to find the right tape for the cassette player that Ellie had.
Yeah, like
Like,
everything just worked perfectly.
yeah, I would believe that there's a tape of that in that museum. I'm sure there was, some PA system that would just play that for kids
Oh
going
yeah,
around.
maybe
But
that's how he got it.
also, did he like record it onto that cassette and be like, "This is perfect"? Like, how did that? Where did he find all the things to record it on? I don't know.
But I love that scene when they're actually in the spaceship, and you just see how much it means to her and him.
Yeah, yeah,
But it was really sad watching as their relationship does crumble, and it all leads to pretty much the confrontation with Eugene, which it was really cool to see because you don't play that in the game, right?
no, that's not in the game at all.
Yeah, I
You
forgot you
don't.
don't.
They don't. I don't think Joel kills him in the game, or at least they never say it that he's
Yeah, I
dead
know
in the
he's dead
game.
in the game because he's
Yeah,
the marijuana thing's his.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
But
I
he's
feel like
just in
there's
the
like a
game. It's
picture of him.
just
That's it.
in the game. Yeah, you go because you go to the weed place with Dina, and then you find a picture of him, and it's just like, oh yeah, he was a firefly with Tommy. Too bad he died. That's that.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
kind of
yeah, because
it.
his wife's not in the game.
Yeah,
She's
no,
a
there's
whole.
no. What is it, Gail? I
Yeah,
think.
Gail was a great addition to the show. Every time she is so funny.
Yeah, she's been great.
She's like, "Do I have a fucking doctor's sign above my head like the peanuts?"
Yeah,
I thought it was a good line. But yeah, that whole scene, and when he's like, "I promise," and I was sitting while I was like, "Joel, come on, dude!" Like
yeah.
you're just digging a grave.
Hmm.
But because I will say I've never had any problem with any of the killings he's done. That one I had a little bit of a problem with.
I mean, could they have gotten him back in time?
I mean, Ellie was.
Maybe.
Wouldn't Ellie have the best thing on that?
Well, what do you mean?
Because she would. The reason she did that because that's what she has her friend do, right?
Well, no, I think that was one of the Fedra things. Is like count to 10, whatever.
Oh yeah,
If
because they
you're,
killed a little kid
yeah, yeah,
in the start
yeah.
of the season.
Yeah, that's how the show starts. Um, the show starts out with two children dying because you get
Oh
Joel's
my
daughter
god, duh, and then
immediately,
Joel
and then
throws
the
the
little
body in the
girl.
fire.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. God,
Um,
yeah. I think the play. I was waiting for when Joel told her to get the horses. I was waiting for her to say like, "No, you get the horses. If he bites me, then it's not a big deal." Like I was
yeah,
waiting for her to say that, but she was like, "Okay." Like she wasn't happy to do it, but she just kind of agreed.
because
But
she was trying to see. I feel like that was like her being like, "Can I still trust Joel? Like, is he gonna?"
yeah,
And he
yeah.
just didn't do what she
Is
thought
he still a
what
bad
she wanted
man?
him to do.
But I don't know. I don't see it as that bad because could they have maybe gotten him back in time? Maybe, and just left him out like he had that plan. He said just have him outside the wall, keep him apart, but just let him get his final word out. Maybe he could have gotten there, or maybe he would have turned halfway through and I don't know,
Yeah, but then you're
knocked
just gonna kill
Ellie.
him anyway.
Well, yeah, but they're gonna kill him anyway. But what if he turns halfway through? Like, is he gonna
He's
walk
tied up.
next to the
They said.
horses? What do you mean?
They said they were gonna tie him up.
Well, A, do they have the stuff to tie him up? Because if you tie him up and have him on the back of somebody's horse, do you have some way to gag him so he doesn't bite? Because what if if he's on the back of Joel's horse and he bites Joel without
Yeah,
them
so
realizing he
I
turned?
feel like
Then
well, yeah, they
Joel's
definitely
done.
do. They drag the dead body.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like tie him up and have him. If he's on the back of one of their horses, if it's
Ellie's
Joel's horse,
horse.
he just goes and he bites Joel and it's done.
Yeah, but
Or
why
he
not just put
bites
him on the back of Ellie's horse at that
because if he
point?
bites Ellie's neck, then she's still gonna die. She's not immune from bleeding out. Like it's not. She's still
Okay,
fucked.
you're right. You're right. You've changed
Yeah.
my opinion. You're right.
I think it was, Ellie trying to be nice was like, yeah, we can bring him back. But Joel, being a realist, was like, nah, we gotta.
Nah.
It's already. He knows what has to happen. He's just sad.
Yeah,
Because I think like anybody else, if that was anybody else besides him, who just he happened to have a wife, if it was somebody who was single, they'd be like, "Yeah, this sucks. Sorry, can you shoot me now?" Like, because we saw it earlier in the Battle of Jackson in episode 2. You see that you don't see it on screen, but you see the guy hand somebody the gun in like the corner of the screen, just shoot him.
yeah, and you see the flash.
Yeah, and Joel says like we have rules, so everybody in Jackson knows the rules. If you get bit, sorry, buddy, you're done. You know,
Yeah,
so I don't have a problem with how Joel did it. And I think Joel, if anything, he did it in a pretty nice way. He brought him to a pretty good view, and he's like, "Listen, just think of your wife. Sorry," and then
I did like that line where he's like, "If you truly love someone, you can always see them." He's
yeah,
like, "Oh," because he sees
yeah,
Sarah every time he looks at Ellie.
yeah. I think if there's a nice way to do it, he did it in a pretty nice way. But
It was quick. He probably didn't feel it.
yeah, and Joel doesn't feel good about it. You see later when he brings him back, and Gale sees him, he's fucking distraught. He didn't want to do that, but shit happens. It's a tough world, man.
Yeah. How many people do we think Joel's killed?
It's got to be
Hundreds.
probably. Yeah, I'd say like 200 at least.
God,
I don't know.
that's a lot of
I don't
people.
know. Maybe not that many, but you got to think he was a bandit or raider, whatever you want to call it, for a
He wasn't
while.
a raider. He was a firefly. Fedra.
No, he was never a firefly.
Who would he work with? He worked for someone. Him and
He would
Tommy did
work.
something.
I think he said he and Tommy were raiders, and then Tommy was a firefly for a little bit. Joel was never a firefly.
Oh yeah, Tommy left
He was.
Joel and then joined the
Yeah,
firefly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He was a raider for a bit, and then he got to Boston and was doing the smuggle. No, he was a smuggler. He was just a
Yeah.
smuggler, but he wasn't always in Boston, I think was the thing. So he
Yeah.
was smuggling shit all around, and then because you see him, he goes to Bill's place, Bill and Frank. He
Yeah.
goes
And
to
they
their
know each
place,
other.
and it's like 10 years before whatever, and it's so who knows how many people he ran into, and then you get that scene of him, the famous scene from the game as well, when they're driving through and the guy walks out and he's like, "Nah, put your seatbelt on, Ellie," and then he just drives through the motherfucker. Like he
He
knew that was
knows
a
the
trap.
ropes too
Yeah,
well.
he knew that was a trap because he's probably done it before. Like he's not a good man. That's what makes him such a great character. Is he's a piece of shit who just finds a little bit of humanity.
Yeah, because I feel like that's a huge part of this. Like, it's one of the underlying themes of The Last of Us is that these people are doing bad things, but they're doing it because of their situations. It doesn't make them bad people.
Yeah, the world fucking sucks.
Yeah, this
You
is
can go,
terrible.
yeah, yeah. You can go to a city with Fedra and just be fucking have zero rights, or you can live on your own and probably die in some horrible way. You can be a fucking raider and just murder people, or
And
you can
steal.
be, yeah, or you can join like the Scars, which maybe it's nice, but they got their own little quirks to them, and then we'll see later. I just finished the next game, so you got like the Rattlers at the very end of the game who are just enslaving people. Like there's fucked up shit going on, man. There's no good way to go.
Yeah,
If
it's a
you can
rough
be like
world.
those people, remember the couple they ran into who was just living in that cabin in the first season?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like that's the best possible outcome. You just go to a mountain and
die
just
of
live.
old age.
Yeah, you just die somewhere. You just die alone. You're fine. It's the best possible outcome.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was the best. Remember the guy was like, "She gonna shoot us?" He's like, "No." He's like, "All right, cool." I guess
Like it
it
was
was
so
so funny.
straightforward.
Yeah, they were both like, "All right, do you need anything?" They was like, "No, just directions." They're like, "Okay, go down that way."
Yeah.
Great.
Um. So I wrote down when I was doing my notes. I said that this episode stood out to me as a powerful entry, due to some outstanding performances by Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal. Their emotional depth and their ability to convey the trauma and love for each other that they have, the trauma they've endured, I guess would be the right way to say it, and the love that they have for one another. But just seeing their relation fall apart because of Joel's lie was just a really sad thing to watch. But then it was really nice to like add in a whole scene with his dad, and you learn why his dad beat on him,
Hmm.
how his dad got beat, and then using the same line at the end was
Yeah,
just a way to be like, haha, remember how sad this is? Stab you in the heart a little bit.
yeah, yeah. That
Um,
brought it home for me because I watched that first scene and was again like, why are we at? I got to learn to just trust Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann a little bit
they
more
did
because every
have an
time
idea.
every time they add something, I'm like, why are we adding shit and cutting the shit that I want to see from the games? And then they circled back and just said the line at the end. And I was like, all right, I get it. It was really good.
Like,
Like,
fuck.
yeah, it was really fucking good.
Yeah, I think this episode is rich in heartbreaking inter introspective moments,
Nice.
and the direction makes space for. There's enough time for to let every one of the birthdays settle, and you
Hmm.
feel how much Ellie is starting to resent Joel, and how much Joel can feel that starting. Because I feel like every time you see him leave her room, there's a little bit like something's wrong, and then by the end, there's nothing left for them. It feels like until we get
Yeah.
to when they want to figure everything out, and then
Yeah.
the motherfucker dies.
Yeah.
What is it like 2 days later?
Oh yeah, not long. And it is like it makes that scene even more heartbreaking in in the show and the game because it's like they end off on this. Well, they end off like low but decent because Ellie says, I don't think I can forgive you, but I'd like to try." And
Yeah,
then as soon as Joel's actually in trouble and he's dying, then Ellie's just crying and screaming for him. So like she always loved him. She was always going to love him. She always cared about him. She was never going to hate him forever. But it's just
it's
to
hard
find
to,
that out in that way is it's the worst thing possible.
and the fact that she felt like her life had no meaning,
Yeah.
and the one thing that gave her life meaning was taken away without her decision.
Yeah.
But overall, I think The Price is a beautifully crafted episode, emotionally resonant, masterfully acted. But again, it being where it is kind of hurts it at the same time because this is
Just hear your mom screaming.
yeah, she's such a loud woman. But its time in the season could have implication for how effectively the series lands its conclusion. Well, the
Yeah.
season lands its conclusion.
Yeah, yeah.
She's such a loud woman.
She is. It was funny how homophobic Joel was when he walked in on him because
Oh
he was
yeah.
not happy. Like you could
Well,
tell.
I don't know if
It
it's
skips to two
homophobic.
years later. It skips 2 years later, and he was like, "It's okay." Like
Yeah, because he wasn't.
it's
I don't
okay.
think he didn't know any better. He's
He
Southern
was
boy in Texas, and at the
well,
time,
yeah, but he was still like a girl. I was like,
like
"That's what
they're
you're worried about?"
experimenting.
Yeah, yeah. He was like, "You don't no," but he literally was like, "You're experimenting's one thing, but with a girl," and he was like,
Oh
she was
yeah, I
like,
forgot he does
"Yeah,
say you don't know what you're
yeah."
talking about. Yeah, that was
Because
bad.
he walked in at first and was like, "She's 17, you're 19." I was like, "Okay, reasonable to be upset, very reasonable." And then he's like, "With a girl?" I'm like, "Damn, Joe, what the fuck?" Like,
I did like with the line where she's like, "Oh no, the tattoo will look better when it's filled in," and he like
yeah.
looks at, he's like, "That's not what I'm worried about."
Oh yeah, he's like, "All right, I'll leave." Yeah, that was
Ellie
funny.
has some great posters on her walls too. She's got some good grunge bands.
Yeah,
2 Nirvana posters as well.
yeah, I like the Kurt Cobain just flipping off on the outside of the door is
Yeah.
wild too. Like,
But yeah, I really just I love the whole episode. I think it was one of the. I think it's probably my. I think I keep saying I think it's the second best episode of the season for me. I think 2 is just leaps and bounds the best. That and episode 3 of season 1 are the best things that have come out of the show.
yeah,
Pedro Pascal as Joel, I think he really turned because people were not happy when he got cast as first because people wanted Matthew
mm.
McConaughey, they wanted all these different people.
McConaughey would have been wild. McConaughey would have been so
McConaughey, I
strange.
love him. There's no way he's pulling off Joel.
No, no. But a lot of people wanted Nicolaj Castor-Waldo from Jamie from Game of Thrones. I think I'm pronouncing his name right.
That's a
A
long
lot of
name.
people. It is, yeah. I
He
don't
would
know
have been
what
a
it's
good
from.
one. I see him more as Tommy though.
Well, no, 'cause it's just like a fan casting that people have like,
Yeah.
edited the right haircut and
Oh, they've like done
said,
everything to edit him to look
yeah,
right.
they've made it perfect looking. So yeah, of course it's gonna look like him. It's the same thing with people saying like, "Oh, Kaylee Spaney should have been Ellie." It's like, yeah, when you edit the photo to make her look 5 years younger and give her the exact haircut, the exact clothes, and the exact facial features, yeah,
It's
it
gonna
looks
look
like Ellie now.
identical.
Like, yeah, no shit.
And
Kaylee
maybe
Spaney does
Kaylee
kind of
Spaney
look like Ellie,
auditioned and
but
just wasn't good.
yeah, maybe I don't know, or maybe she's fucking 5 years older than like. Isn't
Well,
she like 29?
she could pull off the age thing.
She
She
could,
did
yeah.
play a 14-year-old last year,
She did.
and I looks like she's 14.
Yeah, she does not look old. She's 98. Fucking how old does that mean?
26.
Math is not my strong suit.
26.
Yeah, she's 26.
Because I'm 24.
Oh yeah, you are. God, you're
Thanks.
fucking old. So old, dude. What did you see 9/11 happen? Old fuck. God damn.
Yes, I
That's the main
did.
showing. Yeah, that's the main showing of age for our generation. Is like if you were
Yeah, were
born
you alive
before
for 9/11
9/11,
or
you're a
not?
fucking dinosaur. Yeah, no, I was post 9/11, like a real human being. Um,
Do you have anything else you want to add for episode 6?
uh, no, I think it was still good. It's just yeah, I mean the main thing is misplaced, and also the fact that this is the longest episode. I swear to God, man, if next episode is like 42
It's
minutes,
probably out
I'm gonna be
now,
so
right?
upset. The length of it?
Mm-hmm.
No, no, you can check because I just finished Andor and quick sip of water. And stay hydrated. Andor, the last episode of Andor wasn't incredibly short, but it was shorter than a lot of the other episodes. But at the same time, they did such a good job of wrapping it up relatively before the finale, where it was like the finale literally just needed to be like, okay, give all these characters their last say, and just like show them where they ended up, and then it just leads directly into Rogue One. And I did watch Rogue One immediately after finishing Andor, and it does
Oh,
make it better.
the show ended after season? It's done now?
Oh yeah, no, it goes like direct. You know how when you first see him in Rogue One, he's like talking to a guy and he shoots him
Yeah,
in the
he's on
back.
the cruiser.
Yeah, yeah, he's literally just the show ends with him flying off to meet that guy.
Oh, so it really
Yeah.
just ends right where it ends.
Oh yeah, no, that was the plan from the beginning was to do
Oh,
2 seasons and go right into Rogue One. Yeah.
damn. I'm on episode 3 now.
Oh, dude, it's so good. Even your dad was texting me. It's just like it's so
I
good.
know, because then I put on Righteous Gemstones and I watched 8 episodes in one day.
Yeah, you can just do that with Andor, man. It's that
I
good.
think it's because I'm still like a little off so far. So I
Yeah.
can't like focus. So
Hmm.
Righteous Gemstones is just funny. Dude,
Yeah.
it is the perfect mix of like the driest humor and then like normal humor.
Yeah. I got
Because
you.
those lines that just aren't funny, like shouldn't be funny, and I'm like giggling. Um,
Yeah. Dude, the craziest thing about Andor rewatching Rogue One is how many people they got back from Rogue One.
to
Like
show up.
even oh, dude, it's insane. Like one of the guys you keep saying you want to get to the prison episode. One of the guys who is not even a main character in the prison episode is a soldier in Rogue One. Like
Really?
he comes back. Like it's amazing. Yeah, it's crazy the amount of people. Like every general or like senator you see for even a little bit in Rogue One is just back in Andor. They just
Oh,
got
so
him
they
back.
really just kept the same thing.
Oh yeah, they just kept everybody, and it leads perfectly. It's such a good fucking show. Oh my god,
I gotta get going again.
it's so good. I'll watch it with you whenever. I want to work. I want to rewatch the first season now again because it's so good.
You can rewatch the first season with me. I'm on episode 3. I'm not
All
that
right,
far. I might
when
be
do you
on
want to
episode
watch it?
2.
When?
I don't know. This week?
Okay, it's a date.
No. I thought I
Just
had the
call him,
last.
Tom. We're
I thought I
free.
had Red Dead 2. I don't, so I gotta buy it.
Oh my god, you can't spend $60 on
No, I am. I'm going
80
to.
hours of entertainment. It's worth
I
it.
won like $250 yesterday on the Phillies game.
Great. That's what 3 Red Dead Redemption 2s?
Go buy a
4?
bunch of gold coins,
Yeah, 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 perfect.
gold bars. Um, well, before Ryan, we get going. What is your recommendation of the week?
I mean, it's gonna be Andor now. I can't talk about it and say don't watch this fucking show. I know everybody's watching this show except you. Watch the goddamn show. It's the
Eh,
best Star Wars since the originals, and I will say that honestly, it is.
Okay, that's fair.
It's better than the prequels. Even if I like the prequels, I would still say
Oh,
Andor is
I
better than
can
the
already
prequels.
tell it's a higher quality than the prequels.
Yeah, and
Like,
even like I love the Clone Wars too. This is better than the Clone Wars. Like it's amazing.
yeah, I gotta watch it. Well,
Hmm.
I'm gonna go down the same thing you just did. I'm going to recommend the Righteous Gemstones.
All right.
If you are Christian, Catholic, or anything like that, if you grew up having to go to Catholic school, you guys will watch the show and laugh out loud because I mean these churches are real, and the people are not always great people that run these mega churches.
Yeah.
It is Adam Devine in this is so good. Danny McBride makes me laugh out loud every time he comes on screen because he's stupid. Uh, what are they called? Something chops.
Oh, the mutton chops.
Yeah, he's got them. Terrible.
Oh, great.
But yeah, there's a former Satanist in the show who's now like a divine Christian, but he still says some outlandish things to everyone. The
Yeah.
whole show is just hilarious. I think the cast is great. The writing's really good. They really there's some super violent scenes in it,
Really?
just out of nowhere. But yeah, I highly recommend it to everyone. It has 4 seasons. They're all 8-episode seasons. And yeah, they're just hilarious episodes, especially if
Perfect.
you grew up in Catholic school or
Yeah.
Christian school. Um,
We went to Catholic school.
what?
We went to Catholic school.
We went to Catholic school.
Yeah, we didn't go to Christian school.
No, I'm saying like people
Not
went.
like Connor.
Connor didn't go to Christian school.
No, I know, but he's a Christian, not a Catholic.
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
Now, because you gave up.
Oh, wow.
You just said one day, you're like, I don't know, this is boring. I'm going to switch it up. We start singing a little louder.
Get a guitar on the stage this time.
Yeah. You get a full band instead of just the piano now.
We're treading into bad people territory.
Yeah. It is funny whenever I go down the shore and go to. You ever been to St. Joe's in Seattle?
No.
It's a very, very nice church, very pretty. But they usually have a full band instead of just piano or anything. It's so funny, just seeing them every time. It's so great.
To answer your question, The Last of Us finale is an hour.
Okay. Well, is that an hour with the
It
whole
just said
behind the
runtime
scenes
1
thing?
hour.
Okay, so I think that should just be the
I
actual
think that's
show.
just show.
Yeah, because usually when they show the runtime on like HBO Max and stuff, that's just the show. It doesn't include the
Yeah, because I don't think it's up
ending
yet.
stuff.
But yeah, well,
Yeah.
everyone, thank you for tuning in. Continue following the Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the social media platforms.
Everything.
Oh! I forgot to tell you. I told Sam I was going to tell you live on the podcast, and I waited till the end.
You proposed?
No.
Oh, not good. Thank God.
So I told you our thing went to a bunch of writing contests.
Yeah.
So there's a smaller one where if you won, you got published. We won.
Nice.
We won the entire thing.
Sweet.
So we get published. Our screenplay, for everyone who's watching, is on Amazon, I think, next week. And it's like a full-on book.
Yeah, awesome.
And you can buy it. And we
Please.
get paid.
Please
So
buy
please
it.
go buy the book.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But yeah, so then there's a couple studios reading it right now.
All right.
But we can't really say anything else. But hopefully there's a next step, and then that's when we can say something about it. But
The
yeah, we
next step
won.
would be very
It was
cool.
pretty exciting. I was really high when I found out. I was laying like, I was like on my phone. I was like, that's it, I won. I was like, we won.
Yeah. No, did you? Well, yeah, you mentioned being. Just want to be clear. Tommy had surgery. That's why he's high.
Yeah,
He's
I was
not
on
just.
oxycodone. My surgery.
He's in incredible pain. That's why.
Yeah, I have like my braces on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not just high. Army, I swear.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we won. It was pretty cool. And yeah, I meant to tell you, and I was like, oh, I'm going to tell him live on the podcast. And I waited till the end. I meant to do it as an opening.
Exciting. Awesome.
But yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in.
Oh,
And
Tommy, wait, one more thing. How about Max going back to HBO Max? We haven't talked about that yet. For no reason. Isn't that exciting?
Have you been seeing the Peacemaker stuff making fun of it?
No.
They're like redoing all their ads, and he's like, stupid fucking Max. He's like redoing like the line, like, watch us on HBO Max, stupid shit.
I'm so
But
excited
it's been
for that
pretty
show to
funny.
come back. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't know why.
It didn't make it. Changing it to just Max made no sense, anyways.
It should just be, but like I get why it's Max,
HBO.
it's not HBO. Why is it
mostly
HBO?
I mean, when it first came out, all we called it was HBO. Like it's just you just said HBO, and they were like, "No, we're Max now." Okay.
Still the best streaming service.
It still is, yeah.
Yeah. Well, everyone, we'll see you in the next one where we're probably reviewing Mission Impossible and the finale of The Last of Us.
Or Final Destination too.
Do you want to see Final Destination?
May have seen it already. I'm sorry. I'll see it again though.
No, I'm not talking to Ryan anymore.